Okay, I want to welcome everyone to class 271. This is our Erev Yom Kippur class. If you looked at the calendar, you will notice that Sukkot and Shmini Atzeres are going to come out on Yom Tov, so I don't think we're having any class after this until after the Yom Tovim, after Shmini Atzeres. So, Simchas Torah, etc. So that's, I think, my calculation. I hope I may be wrong. We'll see. But as far as I know, this will be the last class of the Yom Tovim. You'll have to do your homework on those other holidays yourself, and there's lots of resources to do that with. You have to listen to me. Okay, so this class was billed as how does Yom Kippur deal with your solve how do you solve problems of depression with Yom Kippur? Yom Kippur is a cure for depression. So it's an unusual way of thinking about it. And most people don't connect the Yom Kippur with it is, but it's a Yom Tov. So here's the thing. Most of the reason why people do feel depressed is that they come at the end of the day and they don't feel that they got anywhere or something happened. We really need that kind of personal accomplishment and growth every single day. And if we don't have that, and if things seem to be falling apart, that is probably the biggest reason for feeling that the soul is knocking at us saying, hey, when are you going to get around to doing what you need to do? You're only here on the earth so many years, and you need to accomplish what you need to do. So I think that's the core of the reason for feeling depressed, although we may have many other reasons we think it is the reason, but underlying it, that is it. And so the answer is, that is why it's so important during this time of year. We make a lot of chachalotas. We make resolutions about how we're going to change. So this class is all about how to find out your personal mission statement. How do you find what you're supposed to be doing in life? And I'm going to bring together two different talks I heard this week about that. One was from Rabbi Simon Jacobson, and he talked about the importance of having a sense of mission, because he says businesses that don't have a mission, they sort of wander, they don't get anything done. And the mission cannot be just something like make money or keep them or employ a lot of people, because every business has it. You have to have a unique thing that you think is for that particular business. And sometimes these businesses, they don't have anything very special. Like, Microsoft said, we want everybody to have a PC, but people thought that was a good value. At least it was something. It wasn't necessarily, just make money. Because they were trying to provide something people need, that's what they did. Now, when we think about our personal mission statement, what am I doing in life and where am I going? That's why we have these Yom Tovim. It's time to reflect and to think, what is it that I am supposed to be doing with my life? What am I supposed to be accomplishing with my life? And this is a good time to think about it between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, is to think about what is it I'm supposed to be doing that's unique for me. Can't be somebody else. And that's why it has to be a process of self-discovery. You have to figure it out yourself. Nobody can tell you what it is, and you can't try and be like somebody else, because you'll never be like that other person, because they have to be who they have, their unique mission. So each of us have our unique mission, our unique thing we're supposed to be doing in life. And that is what we are trying to figure out. So Simon Jacobson gives workshops in this. And so he came up with a silly acronym for it. He called it POP plus P plus H. And what this means is as follows. POP is P-O-P. So it stands for your personality is the first P. You have to understand what your personality is. Some people are more shy. Some people are more mathematical. Some people are more scientific. Some people have whatever your particular personality. You can't try and say, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. You need to have it fit your personality. Other thing is opportunities and places and people, actually, the same thing. I have certain opportunities that I can do, and they come in my way, and certain places and people that I can affect. And if I'm trying to look for something else, somewhere else, some other thing, then it's not, and I'm going to be driving myself crazy. God provides you the opportunities to actually do what you're supposed to do. So you utilize those. You look around and you see, what are my opportunities where I could do something, given my situation right now, not later on. And then after the pop, the personality, opportunities, and places, comes the P, which means you have to have a passion for it. You're going to succeed if it's something you're passionate about. If you're not passionate about it, and so somebody telling you to do it, and so it's not going to work. You have to be think, what is my personal passion and what do I love doing, and so forth. And the last is the H. It has to be for some higher motivation. In other words, it has to be something godly. That's really what we're here in this world to do, is to make this world a better place, to make it more godly. And therefore, it's not just to be, it's nice, it's important to be just a nice human being, but we really want to change the world. And Rabbi Manis Friedman had a different, slightly different tune to it. He said, when you make a resolution, here's 4 little suggestions. They're not hard guidelines, but try and do them. One is, what you should try and do is something that's practical for you to do. Doesn't have to be big, but something that moves you forward in life. And there should also be something that is small, not too big. It should also be something that is physical. No, it's very nice to say I want to change my personality or become a more kind person. But if you make it something that can be measured, like not just kind, but I'm going to give 5% more tzedakah this year or something like that, that's practical, and the practical will change the personality. So when we choose something practical to do, something small to do, that actually changes it. And of course, he also says it has to be for a higher mission. You can choose to be a good person any day of your life, but on Rosh Hashanah, you should do something that's relevant to God. So how am I going to make God's world a little bit better? And I think those resolutions actually help move us along and help make us change this world to make it a better place. By actually thinking about a little bit about, here's things I can actually do. And when you look back at the end of the day, sometimes you'll have done it, sometimes you won't. But you know what? Every time you try and remember this little thing that you're supposed to be doing, you'll feel that I made a little bit of progress in myself and a little progress in this world. And you'll be able to say, you know what? I'm doing something. And it's me. And this is what God had a unique mission for me to do, not anyone else. And when I'm doing God's mission, then I can actually look back and say I'm proud. And there's no reason to be depressed, because he's happy with you, because you're doing what was uniquely for yourself. Along those lines, then I thought I'd tell a nice little story about that. I don't know if it's exactly the story one here. Oh, I just read it. It was from Rabbi Tuvia Bolton. It's a story I've heard many times before. It's about, also it's connected with Yom Kippur, and it's connected to this idea that we spend a lot of time, confessing our sins on Yom Kippur, because we want to clean the slate, not because we're feeling bad about what we did. We do, but, the main thing is, God is coming to forgive us and so forth. And therefore, let's talk a little bit about what this idea of forgiveness is. So he has a nice story about it. I don't know if you've ever heard the story, but I know I haven't told this one before. So the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, that's Rabbi Yosef Yitzhak Schneerson, who was born in 1880, passed away in 1950 in New York. When he was a young man, his family was trying to make a decision about who he should marry. And there was a fight in the family, not punching, but, it was, a disagreement. His parents, especially his father, wanted him to marry somebody of very fine quality, midos, character. That's what he thought was the most important thing. And the grandmother, Rebbetzin Rivka, his mother, was of the opinion that the household is very poor. This is a good opportunity to get some money and, get a nice person, yes, it'll be a nice person, but he should also have some money, it's a problem here, and we should be practical a little bit about it and have some money in the household. So she disagreed with her son. Mm-hmm. Anyway, they said, who's going to decide? I have to be the boy himself. I wasn't a boy, young man. So they asked him who he wants, and he says, I want what my mother and father want. So he married Nechemedina, who was not from a very well-to-do family at all. However, his father, the Rebbe Rashab, felt guilty about not doing his mother's wishes. And so when it came Yom Kippur, he wanted to go ask forgiveness for her for not doing what she wanted to do. So she smiled and she told him a story, which is a beautiful little story. The story goes as follows. There was a rabbi who lived in a town, and they were supposed to, he and all his his wife and his children and then the rest of the big extended family, they were all going to travel to a nearby town for Yom Kippur. And in those days, you traveled by horse and carriage, and even if it's nearby, you couldn't wait around on Erev Yom Kippur. You had to get going and move. And the family was taking a long time to pack, and this was happening, and that was happening in the family. Everybody was involved with this and that and so forth, and it was getting late. And he got exasperated, and he saw they're not coming, and he says, "You know what? I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna go ahead in my own carriage before you, the horse, and maybe that will get them going. They'll see that I'm leaving. They'll want to chase after me." So he did that. They split up, and he went ahead. And like 2 hours into the trip, he's looking behind, and he's expecting them to, become rushing and racing to catch up with him. He doesn't see anybody, so he decides to stop, get off the side of the road, say the mincha prayers, and then he would continue on to the town for Yom Kippur. Meanwhile, the family finished packing, was in a huge rush, forgot the path that he was going, and went by a different road. And they went racing to the town, and they got there just before sunset on Erev Yom Kippur. But the father was not there. He'd fallen asleep by the side of the road. When he woke up, it was night already, and he realized it's Yom Kippur. You can't, same laws as Shabbos. You can't travel past the Chum, 2,000 amos. He's stuck. He can't leave. He's all by himself. He's going to spend Yom Kippur, the holiest day, out in the wilderness, all by himself. So he looks up to the heavens, and he looks at the Rabboni up, and he says, Rabboni Shalom. He says, Rabboni Shalom, my children, my family have forgotten all about me. They forgot to come for me, and I'm left here alone. He says, but I forgive them. I can forgive them 100% for whatever, all the things. It's Yom Kippur. I forgive them entirely. He says, Rabboni Shalom, you do the same to your children. You forgive your children. And that's the story. Rebbetzin Rivka smiled, and she said, that's the story. Because I forgive you. Just like in that story. So I think that that's the theme here we have for Yom Kippur is it's a time of wiping the slate clean and starting over again, starting with new decisions and new plans, a new life, a better life. And as Rabbi Friedman concluded, and he says, and we're headed towards Mashiach. It may not look like it right now. You may see all sorts of reasons why in the news, especially if you follow the news like I do as a junkie. Don't do it. It'll just make you depressed. He says, the fact is, though, the boat is moving. And there may be a lot of people on the boat, and they may be headed the wrong direction all the time. But, the boat is headed. It's headed to Israel. It's headed to Mashiach. The world is changing. The world is waking up. There are a lot of signs you'll see people going the wrong direction, but that boat doesn't matter. They're on the boat, and everybody's headed towards that destination. And we all are too. And I think that's that belief and that confidence that, the boat is moving in the right direction. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of things you can say, oh no, it's all messed up. It's not mess. It's just realize that those are just people walking on the boat, but they don't control the boat. Hashem is moving the world faster and faster towards the ultimate geula. We just have to open our eyes and be able to see that that's really what's happening with the rest of the world. With that, I'll turn over the microphone.
No.
I am that the no, and she'll say. So give everybody a wish for the Yom Kippur. We'll see you again, I guess, after the Yom Tovim.
Okay. I don't have a voice, so I'm not going to talk. I have a little voice, but not much. and not enough for a class. But I just want to give everybody a wish for Shana Tova and Masuka. We should have a wonderful, wonderful year. We should we should see the boat land in Israel. We should get off and be so, so, so happy. So I wish everybody a very, very, very sweet year and a very good, um, that everything should go well and we should be signed and sealed for the best possible year. Okay, with that, I'm going to end. Okay, be well, everybody. Oh, I didn't turn off the recording. 1 minute. Did he turn off the recording? There we go.